Ali was something different to people than I think it's. I don't think we have someone like that today, so it's very difficult for us to understand. People today look at Ali and they go, oh, he was a heavyweight boxing champion. He was way more than that. He was a cultural figure that represented the resistance to the Vietnam War and represented it with the biggest loss that any public figure had ever shown, and willingly gave up 3 years of his career in his prime from age 27 to 30. From 1967, from the Cleveland Big Cat Williams fight, he didn't fight again for 3 years. He didn't train. He didn't do anything. They kept him from his career when he was in his prime, when he was the best heavyweight of all time. And he spoke publicly and often, and he was fucking hated all over the country. But he represented something different. Like, my parents were hippies. And when I was a little kid, he lost to Leon Spinks, and the rematch was on television. My parents never watched TV, and they definitely never watched boxing. And they sat in front of that TV to watch that. I remember thinking, I can't believe my parents want to watch a boxing match. Like, this is crazy. I was probably like, I don't know, maybe 8 or 9 years old or something at the time. And I just remember thinking, I can't believe my parents want to watch a boxing match. And that's really when it sunk into me at a really early age that this guy was not just this heavyweight boxer. He was a cultural icon. He was a historical figure. He meant a lot. And to Hunter, he meant a lot. He meant something much bigger than just a boxer. And so Hunter thought he was going to a death sentence. George Foreman had crushed Joe Frazier. He crushed everybody. I mean, he was so powerful. George Foreman, to this day, is one of the all-time scariest heavyweights of all time, without a doubt. He could hit so fucking hard and literally pick guys off their feet. He hit Joe Frazier and lifted him off his feet with a punch. And everybody was convinced that was going to happen to Ali, that Ali had been past his prime. And look at what George Foreman had done to Joe Frazier. What is he going to do to Muhammad Ali? And Ali just rope-a-doped him until he got tired and then fucked him up in front of the whole world.
That's one of the greatest athletic moments. I mean, we forget that athletes like Curt Flood, they risked.
Who's that?
Curt Flood was the American baseball player who challenged the reserve clause, because in baseball you weren't allowed to get free agency for another team. And Curt Flood was this great player, and he was like, I'm going to sit out and I'm going to wait. Athletes like Colin Kaepernick, they've sacrificed their career. It's not the same with Muhammad Ali, who was like Babe Ruth and Barry Bonds and like everybody combined at that one moment.
Right.
But he was risking, it's the opposite of Trump. Trump used his celebrity to become this even more mangled version of himself and get more power. Ali used his celebrity to speak for his virtue and his value and his beliefs. And like Thompson was really good at understanding what people sacrifice, what people have to give up, the wager, between what that act will be, what the results will be. They may be later, but he knew that. And so his respect for Ali for giving up those years of his prime, was enduring. Thompson came back from that fight and he gave his son Juan boxing gloves that were Ali's boxing gloves.
Wow. Yeah, it's a very, very unfortunate that he missed that fight.